There's no drawing table. There's no art supplies. What the heck's going on here?
We're doing something different. We're in the kitchen today.
So if you watched the channel before, you may notice I do a lot of drawing. I do a lot of creativity. This is not something you typically see on this channel. But there is a connective thread to all of the other stuff that you would see here. So stay tuned. We should be absolutely clear. We are not diet and nutrition experts. We're not doctors. We're not giving advice, concrete advice on what you should do. This is just something that we've started trying, and we thought we would share some of our early impressions after a week and just give you our opinions, that kind of a thing. So take everything we say with a grain of salt. Basically what we're doing is keto for the most part. Now it might be, I say that a little hesitantly because I think in the first few days that we started this, we might have been a little not completely keto because we're learning as we go. We've been watching a lot of videos and stuff about it. So we're trying to more focus into keto, but regardless, we did substantially reduce our carb counts. We've pretty much eliminated sugar, at least like sugar cane and the granulated sugar that we would put in stuff. We've gotten rid of that. But to get us started, since we did mention keto, what did you know about keto before we started this?
I've known that people who do keto lose a lot of weight and very quickly. Our attempt is to put our body in ketosis, but also not to gain weight afterwards. So we want to make this a lifestyle change, a healthy lifestyle change, by incorporating the correct foods. And so that is our goal.
And so I'll admit, before actually doing this, I didn't think much about keto. I'd heard about it every once in a while. Like Michelle said, I knew it was like very little to no carbs, and I knew people were eating a lot of fat, and I knew there were no fruits, which I thought was really crazy town, honestly. I ate a lot of fruit before this and a lot of like citrus. I love my grapes, love my oranges, you know, bananas, pineapple,
yes.
That kind of a thing. But then over time, I resisted it for a while, but over time I actually started to know people. We have friends that have done it. I've got colleagues that have done it. We had actual people in our circles that we saw having these positive results. And so finally, just in the last week or so, we said, well, why don't we just give it a try for a while and just see what happens? Yeah. You know, it hasn't been as difficult of a transition as I might have thought. I do still miss some of the fruits and things. I don't miss the carbs as much as I thought I would. And I don't think I really even miss the sugar as much as I thought I would. But I do miss like pineapple and stuff like that.
The fruits.
Yeah.
The fruits. We are a fruit family, but we're going to eat the right fruits.
Yeah. So let's talk about why we chose to do this ultimately. I guess I'll start on that one. For me, and this is going back, this will be a little bit of that connective thread that I promised at the beginning. For me, I think it was just a lack of energy over the last several years. You know, it's just as you get older, your body does different things, and you start to think, well, maybe it's just a product of getting older. I'm in my 40s now. I've never been great with my diet, let's be honest. I've always had a really bad relationship with food. I snack like crazy. And as far with relation to this channel, what that meant was I found myself with less energy and less motivation, frankly, to create art. Even though I wanted to create it, I just, after a full day of work, after spending time with the family, when I had a few minutes in the evening, I was just honestly ready to veg out on the couch and unmotivated to really do much else. So if you're also in a similar boat, I know as creative people, as artists, sometimes we don't consume the right stuff. We don't consume them at the right times. We're so focused on creating art that we take the easy way out when it comes to food, whether that's fast food, whether that's processed foods, whether that's quick microwavable things, because we want to get back to our art, right? Well, so this experiment for me at least is just a chance to see if that changes, if my energy levels change, and if I'm able to get myself back at the drawing table more frequently. What about you? Why did you want to do this?
Well, same for me. I'm 45. We have a daughter who's 14, and we need to keep up with her. So
yeah, we do. Here she is right here.
There she is.
If you're talking about keto, do not eat chocolate ice cream because it's bad for you.
But she can eat that.
She will.
They'll eat it right now for a snack, but they cannot have it.
This is what we got to live with.
She can eat that. So
It's almost done, so.
we have to keep up with Nora. So that's why I'm doing it, because I want to stay fit and healthy. And I want to put the right nutritious foods into my body, because over time, that's going to help my immune system, my energy, my brain, your eyesight, cardiovascular. It's going to help everything.
One of the important things for me, and what's been helpful for me, is just the fact that we decided to do this together. Because obviously, as we just saw, we have a teenager who is still eating some of the other stuff that we already had in the house. But just so that we're at least on the same page and we're making the same meals for ourselves, we're supporting each other, that kind of a thing. Okay, so I'm going to pause for 1 second. If you're watching this, we know there's a ton of other keto channels. There's a ton of people who have a wealth of information about it. We've been watching a bunch of them this week. It's actually funny. We're actually done with all of our shows right now. So what do we watch all week? We've been watching keto YouTube videos like all week long. So I know there's a lot of people out there watching this who are probably going to like scream at what some of the things we say. And you know, if we say something completely off, leave a comment and leave a comment down below, because we are learning. This has literally been, we're just a little over 1 week into it as we record this video. And in this first week alone, I mean, I've already noticed some differences about me. How about you?
The gut change. Okay, the bathroom change. They say that that's what happens, and that's happening with me right now.
Yeah, and I don't think that's unexpected with any time you significantly or even moderately change your diet. You know, your body's got to adapt and get used to it. So I've had some of that as well. We definitely have noticed a little bit of gut change in that regards. Anything else that you've noticed this week?
Well, I'm very hungry. Okay. I'm hungry. He's not.
So this
am.
This has been an interesting thing that we've talked about this week. She has been hungry quite a bit. Me, for whatever weird reason, I actually haven't been. I haven't snacked really hardly any. So I've eliminated a lot of my snacking from what I normally would have done. I still have a little bit here and there, but I have felt fuller longer, and that has led also to introduce a little bit of intermittent fasting into the week, which I know if you watch some of the other videos out there, some people will say it's just sort of a natural combination and a natural, they sort of go hand in hand sometimes. So I have gone a few days this week from dinner, which we'll eat about 7-ish, give or take, between 6 and 7 roughly. After that point, I don't eat again until maybe 11 or 12 the next day when I have lunch at work. I've gotten to where I sort of skip breakfast altogether. Or on some days, I'll actually just eat my breakfast at that 11 or 12 hour, you know, as like a brunch, I guess. But I've been fine. I haven't felt the need to eat, and it's weird. It's like freaky town. I don't know if I don't know if it's psychological, and if I'm just in this like first week kind of honeymoon state with keto. I don't know what it is. So hopefully that lasts. We'll see if it does. But that's been an interesting thing that I've discovered this week.
Also, you've been getting leg cramps. Mention that.
Yeah, okay, so that's true. I have noticed, I have had some achy legs a couple of nights this week. I do know that sort of affected my sleep a little bit, but you know, who knows? Who knows if that was specifically related to anything or everything or whatever. But that was something I felt this week, which I hadn't really had prior. So what we've got up here on the bar area, we have just a handful of items that we sort of specifically bought this week as we've been experimenting with keto. We've replaced our granulated sugar with like a monk fruit, which is a natural sweetener. We have raw cacao, which is just pure chocolate, no sugar, and it's really bitter. We've been using that in a couple of smoothies along the way. We will add a little of the monk fruit to that just to sweeten it a bit, and then if you have other things in your smoothie, it adds to the flavor.
I wanted to say that I've tried sardines.
Ah, yes, forgot about the sardines.
For the first time, and I was scared to try sardines, And actually, I was surprised they weren't that bad.
Yeah, I was actually surprised too. I'm not going to eat them every day. I might not eat them every week. But I can see like chopping them up, putting them in like salads or something, you know, they were actually, yeah, they weren't bad.
No, they're full of protein, and they recommend that you eat them a lot, so I will eat them. We're eating a lot of eggs too.
Eggs have been big, yeah.
Eggs and bacon, and some strawberries, blueberries, blackberries.
One of the reasons why we opted to do this was, at least for me, was I thought it might be like a quick restart or a quicker restart. You know, I was, like I said earlier, lack of energy, feeling sluggish. I know my weight was getting bigger. So I'm just hoping, my goal was to just maybe sort of have a little bit of a reset button and drop some pounds, especially as we're now in summer, where we got the holidays around the corner. I don't know if for me, my original intent going into this, I don't know if I meant it to be a permanent lifestyle change or not. I was hoping that it might introduce some other healthier habits that I can then carry on when I relax the keto-ness of it. So like the lack of snacking, a little bit of intermittent fasting here and there. Obviously fewer carbs, you know, we're not gonna try to go crazy on carbs. If we're successful with this, and then we relax it and we see some unsuccessful trends happening again, we can always go back to this, and you know, we'll...
that's our goal. Is to be at a point where we say, okay, you know, we can have some carbs.
Okay, so let's talk weight. One of the things you hear about when you hear people say they do keto is that they drop pounds quickly. And that was the experience that we saw with some of our friends that did it. And that was frankly one of the things that I was really hoping for by trying this. So I will say, I'm a little skeptical of some of my early numbers, but I have noticed the numbers trending down. So I think just in a little over a week of doing this, I've actually probably dropped about anywhere between 3 and 5 pounds just in the first week. Now, is that all keto? Is that the lack of snacking? Is that the intermittent fasting? Or is it all work together as one? I mean, could I do one without the others? Who knows at this point? But all of those things were happening this week, and so I'm starting to see some positive and encouraging signs on the scale. So that's actually a little bit of motivation for me to keep going. How about you?
And for me, darn, Chris, I keep going up a pound, down a pound, up a pound, up a pound and a half. So I don't know. So I'm not really seeing a change yet, but I'm not going to give up hope.
Well, you're doing great. And what I told Michelle earlier is, one, I got a lot of extra poundage to play with here. So I expect it might be you might see a little more come off of me quicker. But then I'll be curious to see where and when that plateaus and how that happens. So be kind to yourself. You're doing great. As we've said several times during this, we're still learning as we go. If you're new to this process, you're probably still learning as you go. There's still a lot to learn. We'll go for a while with it and just see what the results are. And
no, definitely, we want some pounds off. So,
anything else you want to add?
No, maybe we'll check back in a week and let you know how it's going.
So we do want to maybe do a couple of updates along the way. We're not going to turn this whole channel into a keto channel, because obviously there's a ton of those out there that do that a lot better than us. But just to give you the perspective of us experimenting with it and seeing how we feel about it along the way, we'll check in here and there. If there is anything that you're curious about, if there is anything that you would like to know about what we're doing and how we're doing it, leave the questions in the comments. We'll try to address those either as just an answer in the comment, or maybe we can do a separate video about that down the road. But yeah, I don't know. That's it for our first week.
We got this.
Thanks everybody. Again, if you have any comments, anything you want to see, leave it down below. If you like this video, hope you give it a thumbs up, give it a click like, subscribe for more in the future, hit that notification bell to make sure you know when we've got new content coming out. I've got some more art stuff coming up. We have another fun one with Michelle here coming up, which is a surprise. We're not going to talk about that one yet, but I've got that footage that I haven't really pieced together yet. Again, the motivation and the lack of energy. I've been sitting on some videos that I haven't edited for a while. So hopefully we will get back on track and get some of that stuff out there. But in the meantime, be kind to yourselves. Have fun. Talk to y'all later.
See ya.
All right. Bye, everybody.